Brian?
We can make words.
You make words. What's something that you get to do once a week? Heaven?
Checking out books.
Checking out books. Why do we check out books? And why do we do it every week or sometimes more than every week? Ronnie?
Because we can get new books.
We can get new books? Why do you think it's important to get new books? Thinking about everything we know about the Daily Five and why we do it. Why would it be important to get new books? Giselle?
So, maybe if you don't have non-fiction books, you can, if you want to find information, you can go to the bin.
Oh, so maybe you can kind of change up what you had before. Jessica? Because your books kind of get old in your book box, right? And you might get tired of them and you want to get new ones. Joanne? Maybe you had some Todd Parr in your bin, and then this time instead you want to have Kevin Hankey's or Laura Newmrock, and you want to get a different author's books. Or maybe you want to find books about weather, and you didn't have books about weather in your book box before. It lets you change them up, right? It's always good to be reading new books. As a reader, I'm always looking for new books. Sometimes when I'm reading one of my books, like for my book club, when I'm getting close to finishing, I'll start thinking, what do I want to read next? And I might look on the computer, I might go to the library, I might ask a friend, like I might ask Ms. Hughes about books that she's reading, but it helps me to read new books because that's something we want you to do too, and that's a reason why we check out new books every single week. What's important to know about checking out your books? What do you do with the books already in your book box? George? Put them away. And how many books can you take out? How many books can we check out, Amanda? 6 books. So you make sure that you put the books away in their bin that matches, and then when you're picking new books, you want to make sure you're choosing 6 books so that you have enough to keep you busy and able to read the entire time during Daily 5. So now we're going to talk about the important things that the students do, like what your job is and what the teacher's job is. So let's stop and think. What is the student's job when they're checking out books in the library? I want to see everyone thinking. Show me your thinking signal. We're thinking about what you should do during book checkout in the library. Okay. Who can tell me something that you think the students should do when they're checking out books? William?
You should pick good fit books.
Choose good fit books. And have we talked about how you can choose good fit books? What do you do to choose a good fit book? You do the 5-finger rule, right? To make sure it's a good fit book. Thank you, William. That's so important. John, what's something else? Oh, you should do it quietly, right? Why should we be quiet when we're checking out books? Right, because is the whole class checking out books at the same time? No, what are the other students doing? They're making words and they're eating breakfast, and so we shouldn't interrupt them, right? We should be quiet, so it should be at a 0. Jocelyn? Part of your job is to choose 6 new books. Giselle?
When you're choosing books, you have to be polite. If someone says they have a book, don't just put it back in the box. You can give it to them.
Oh, so respecting the other students who are checking out books, make sure you're filling their bucket, and if they want the book that you're putting back, you can give it to them. Or if they're taking a book that you want, you don't need to get upset, right? We respect our friends. All right? What are some other things that are important to remember about the process of putting away books and getting new books? Brian?
We should not have books or
Oh, choose books from all different bins. We fiction section and our whole nonfiction section. We probably have 50 different bins in here, don't you think? Maybe 60 different bins. We have authors, we've got fiction, we've got nonfiction, we've got everything. So we shouldn't take the same books from our books from all the same bin. We want to see you guys checking books up from 6 different bins. Maybe some fiction and some nonfiction. So what color will the stickers be inside your book box? Are they going to be all blue or all red? Ricardo? You'll have some red and some blue. I want you guys to quickly look through your book box. I'll give you until I count down to 0. Look to see what color your stickers are. Do you have some red and some blue? Checking out books this week, remember, I need to make sure I choose blue and red. So I need to choose fiction and nonfiction. That helps us to grow as a reader, because then we're growing in fiction and in nonfiction. What's important about when we're being responsible and we're checking out books quietly in the morning, how can we be responsible with putting our old books back? What's one good rule? Jose?
Making sure you put it back in the right bin.
Yes. Make sure you put the books back in the right bin. So, like, I have a Steve Jenkins book, and I notice, what color is the letter on here? Lisa? What color is it? Blue. So am I going to look over there for the bin that says I? No. Where do I go right away since I see that it's blue? I go to the blue bins and then I look at what it says, right? And what does it say on it? I. So then I look around and I find where the letter I is. Oh, it's right here. I can put it back. And we have letters and we have numbers. So let's make sure we pay attention to that. What about, I know we're kind of running out of space on here. A problem I know we sometimes run into is maybe a book in our book box doesn't have a sticker on it. How can we be responsible with that book? If there's not a sticker on it, should you just put it in any bin you want? No? Who can tell me what you do when your book doesn't have a sticker on it? What should I do? Like, I noticed this book, it doesn't have our library sticker on it. If I'm putting it back in the library, what do I do? Victor? We put it in the book hospital. Why do we put it in the book hospital? And then what can happen to it? Right, and if we put it in the book hospital, then the book doctors, Miss P and Miss Hughes, or maybe some of you, will help fix it. When we see a small tear in a page or something, do we have to go, teacher, 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 I have this book that has a problem. Is that something that we do in room 201? No, you guys are first and second graders. You're about to be second and third graders. You can be responsible for your own books and put them in the book hospital. Priscilla, wake up. Daniel? So we talked about the student's job in the morning when you're checking out books, when the librarian calls your group. What about the teacher's job? What is the teacher going to be doing? Will the teacher be over here helping you check out your books? Who's there to help you check out books if you need some help? Lewis? The librarian for the week is there to help you. Maybe you could add teachers and librarians, since it's really the librarian is our leader when we're checking out books. So what is the librarian's job? What does he or she do every single day of that week? Jocelyn? then they can come help, right? So they call the groups in a teacher voice. George? They help you find the number. Olivia? They help you pick out good fit books. If you are having a hard time with the 5-finger rule, you might say, librarian, can you come help me do the 5-finger rule on this book? What else could they do, Giselle?
Sometimes when you don't have a sticker and you forget what to do, the librarian can help you remind somebody.
So, or that could be true with any of the rules. If you forget about something, the librarian is there to help you remember what you should do, right? So if you forget about what your job is, the librarian reminds you about what you should do, right? They remind you how to be responsible. Anything else? Okay, so you guys have done a really good job this year of being responsible with our library, but we wanted to do this to help you to remember so that for the rest of the year, we can make sure that we're learning and growing as readers the best that we can, right? So by choosing different kinds of books and making sure that they're good fit books, you're going to be able to learn and grow as a reader.
And something that I wanted to point out today, because the teachers will be helping with attendance and helping with breakfast and taking attendance. But what I thought was really interesting this morning was that Matthew came up to me and asked me a question. Matthew, what did you ask? Nice teacher voice. Oh, Matthew asked me where the reptiles bin was. Matthew, why did you ask me where the reptiles bin was? Matthew wanted to learn about reptiles. So what bin did he look for? The reptile bin. So that's something that the librarian could also help with, or a teacher too, because we know where all of the bins are. But that's a really great idea. When you have your book box, you need to think, what do I want to read about? I bet Matthew, during the brain pop yesterday, we learned a little bit about reptiles. So he thought, oh, I might want to read books about reptiles.
I like how Matthew is thinking like a reader all the time, not just during